his sons, having played sport at a local level in Leeds, Andy and Fast Signs have a long history of helping local sports clubs and organisations like Kippax Welfare Rugby League, Garforth Rangers Football Club and North Leeds Cricket Club with products such as events banners, honours boards and changing room signage, as well as providing signs and graphics to the mighty Leeds Rhinos and Leeds United for over the last 30 years. So if you're involved in a local sports club, get in touch with Andy and his team for advice and help with your signs. I'm sure he'll do you a great deal if you mention the Lot Pod. Hi everyone, welcome to the Lot Pod, the Leeds Rhinos Lot 17A podcast, kindly sponsored by Fast Signs. Eddie, producer Chris and Duncan here to review this one, match review panel time. Leeds versus Warrington. Producer Chris, how are you?
Very well, very well. Yeah, all good.
Duncan?
All good.
Hat-trick appearance, fourth.
That's about fifth, isn't it?
Fourth or fifth,
You'll be booted. We can't get rid of this one.
We can't get rid of him.
Hey, I've seen some good comments.
About Duncan?
Yeah, get
Dunk himself.
Get Dunk on every week.
Get writes himself.
I meant to, yeah. It's my son. I meant to tell you, I had a guy come up to me after Wigan game, and he went, "Oh, you'll actually be happy on this pod." and I didn't quite know how to take it because I think I've been quite positive this season.
You've been way more positive than
it was enjoyable to talk to anyway. I didn't catch his name, but
you forgot.
I've probably forgotten by then because I
drunk too much.
Drunk too much at Wire, but yeah.
So we're going to review the game. We're going to give our Matt Frawley Fast Signs player of the match. We're then going to touch on a little bit of transfer news, particularly around Morgan Gannon and Callum Watkins. And then at the end of the pod, we will preview the Salford game. So, match review panel time. Leeds 14, Warrington 16. Producer Chris, what positives can we take?
I've got a few
from this one.
One that I watched the game with Phil, one of our regulars. That were good. I saw him. Just caught him.
Lovely bloke, yeah.
So that were nice. We were the better side. And it's the third game on the trot that as pack has stood up to probably three best packs. So I'm fairly positive about that, even though it was a loss. They didn't win it, we lost it.
Well, we didn't lose it.
Well, no.
We'll come to that.
Yeah, we'll come on to that. But so I was quite positive, really. I even got back home and watched it again.
You love doing that, though.
I know, not usually when we lose.
You've done it when we sure I've watched one this year, because I said why.
Oh, maybe I do. I'm just saddo. But I enjoyed watching it, actually, because I thought we played really well. As attack looked like it were clicking until Croft went off.
Yeah.
There were some lovely passes. Ash Handley's to Riley Lum. I thought Miller's pass to Hall was a beauty, and Jake Connors, not his first one. That should have been in NFL, but his second one for Riley Lum was just a beauty. There were a lot of green shoots there.
Duncan, positives from you?
Yeah, same as Chris. I'd pick out three individuals for me: Connor, Miller and Oledsky. I thought all were really good. I think Connor's fitting into the halves really well. I thought the ball movement was probably the best it's been this year. Yeah. Miller was really good.
You'll love that. Where's your badge?
I ain't got it on.
And again, just to echo what Chris said, the pack.
Again,
I think we've got.
Again, we stand here waxing lyrical.
Although I am going to pick one of them out for a brain fart later on, but
yeah, no, I think there were, and travelling fans as well. It was a decent.
Yeah, they were very rowdy. I don't know if they'd been drinking a lot.
I don't know about that. But no, I think the travelling fans, there was quite a few there. And it was a good atmosphere. I think there's a lot of positives around the club.
Yeah,
and I think it is. I don't think we got what we deserved out of the game.
No. Yeah, just to pick you up on fans, I think they can see something out there. That's all we've ever wanted to see.
Yeah. It's easy to get behind as well when you're aggressive.
Yeah.
They're trying the knackers off. That's what we want to see as fans. You can't ask for anything more. And yet again, we're going to sit here and talk about a 2-point defeat, and we've been the better team.
Yeah.
This one, though, what we didn't lose. Not like the Wakefield game. This one was out of our control.
In the hands of others.
Yes.
Which we will come to. I agree. Tons and tons of positives you've all touched on, particularly the pack. I think, again, this Leeds pack now, I think we're talking best in the league.
It's got something
the Leeds
really
Rhinos
good about it, hasn't it?
Forwards,
Like
I agree. It's a good mix. They're all athletic, they offer different things.
I think,
and it's almost like, usually, in previous years, with any squad, with any team, really, but any sport where one player will go off and another one will come on, you think, right, the dynamics changed here because of this. For the worse, but even if it's slightly. Whereas with the Rhinos now, if it's Aledska going off, Horeg coming on, I'm like, that's fine. There's only really the Sony where there's potential. And then again, depends if he has his half-back moments, but the pack itself.
And Cooper Jenkins
he's a great find.
Signing.
Great find.
I really like him and Mick starting. I just like the fact that they're big and athletic. And we're just not getting rolled over. And it's so nice to see. How many times have we watched against Warrington and Paul Vaughan's been rolling out middle, or
he is 61.
Alex Walmsley's been
again.
It's not happened, has
59.
It's not happened. So we've had a tough run of games, haven't we? So I think we've got
a really easy game next week. So that's good.
What, we ain't got one, so that's. I think we've got a few coming up that we could expect to hopefully.
Yeah, Salford, Huddersfield, then KR at home. Then is the next one.
KR's obviously going to be difficult, but I suppose other two. But you know, we've passed the test, even though we haven't won as many games as I'd like in the last three.
Do you think? Well, the Croft injury affected us enormously, Duncan. It's a hamstring injury. We believe it isn't that bad. Fingers crossed it isn't that bad for Croft. Arthur said they took him off as it just wasn't worth the risk. But you kind of mentioned earlier that link between Croft and Connors working, and we're doing really up until that moment. Did you feel Croft going off was going to affect us as much as it did? I thought at the time, well, he has gone off, but we are looking good, and Jack coming on.
It's always a hard one, I think, when you lose someone like Brody, because as I was saying before the pod, like defensively, he's so underrated as a defender, and I think it probably hampered us more in defence than it did in attack, because the right edge went a bit to pot, and I don't think it was through fault of Harry, or because I've seen a few people saying, he shot out the line. Centre's the hardest place to defend on a rugby field, because if you make a mistake, you're either leading to a break or a try, and I don't think he's got it wrong on many occasions. I think he had a really good game against Wardle and Nsemba the week before, and I think it was kind of the trust with Jack wasn't quite the same as what it is with Brody, and it kind of narrowed us a bit, and then left Hall isolated. That's really nitpicking, though. Really nitpicking, because he was looking good, Brody, as well. In the gate, we looked really comfortable up until the point where he went off. But kudos to Arthur. It'd be very easy to keep him out, and we could be sat here saying that he's out for 4 to 5 weeks, and what a miss he's going to be. He's felt his hamstrings a bit tight, and he's come off.
And we still should have won that game.
And we still should have, and we would have won the game.
Jack nearly scored, actually, didn't he, when he first came on?
We would have won the game had the guy with the whistle not affected it as much.
I've wrote on my notes here. I do make notes, honestly, on this laptop. It's not a plank of wood. I do make notes. I've wrote here. Arthur said it wasn't worth the risk for Brody once he was feeling his hamstring. But to me, it's a particularly easy choice when Sinfield's on the bench to say, right.
Yeah, which is why he's on the bench. So I think
it's your turn, Jack. Go finish this game.
So he obviously trusts him. Yeah. And as Duncan said, it's not Jack's fault that we lost, is it? It's not. That interchange was not the reason we lost.
No.
We'd have been fine, I think. It just did. I think we'd have scored more. I think we might have scored another try.
Yeah.
If Croft had stayed on.
We're talking about it changing the dynamic for Leeds in a halfback, in a star halfback going off. It changes any club in the world's.
Yeah,
doesn't it? We've just Nathan Cleary goes off for the Panthers, or
we've just been
Johnny Lomax for Saints.
So disrupted in that spine that we can't seem to get a run.
That was my next question.
And watching that game live, it were like the clicking. They started to understand.
Yeah. But a few games together.
Because Mill had been out for 6 months, and hardly trained, and you could see the link up was working, and it was looking really good. So that's, going back to positives. I think we can start to see the attack clicking, which I've been critical of, probably harshly.
I think I've been harsher than you. Hopefully, Brodie Croft's injury isn't too bad, but we will find out very, very soon. Jake Connor, Duncan. 2 assists for Jake Connor on the night. He, at the game, you'll have seen him, I think it was for the Riley Lum try. He was pointing to the ground saying, "This is my game. This is my game." Another decent performance from JC.
He's what we've missed.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of people negative about the signing when we made him. But I thought, me and you both sat here, didn't we? And we said, he's a good signing. If we can get the best out of him, we've got a coach that can maybe rein in his petulance. I don't even think we've seen a petulant side or anything like that.
I think this is Jake Connor reborn.
Him shouting, "This is my game," and laughing at crowd who are booing him, that's not really petulance, is it?
That's brilliant.
I haven't seen him been winding up. I think he's realised. I think pennies dropped for him.
And I think he just is the maverick that we've needed. I think he tries things. At St Helens, the pass out wide to Lum didn't come off. This week it creates a try. You're gonna get mistakes with people like Connor.
Amazing as well, because he didn't even look, did he?
No, he didn't look, and he fired it. And I think the more that the outside backs play with Jake, the more they're going to expect the ball, no matter whether he's looking at them or not. Yeah. And I think,
whether he's looking at them or not,
to have a player in the squad who can create a try out of nothing, that's what we need. And it was a bit off the cuff. Miller creates an offload, and it was Paliasia to Bentley. back to Connor, and then he big ball out wide. I also thought the break before McDonald's try, he did the same thing. He just flung the ball wide to Ash, who got on the outside and put a lovely offload
pass on it
to Lum to get away.
Is that the one when he reached out and almost scored?
Yeah. Oh, no, it was before that. It was the one, because it was McDonald's try, he got taken down on the 10-metre line, wasn't it? Because he started criticising him because he didn't pass it inside on the commentary, but he played the ball and we still scored. So yeah, I just think I like what he offers. He covers multiple positions in the back line. I personally prefer him in the halves, because I think he gets his hands on the ball. I think, not that he necessarily needs it, but I think we can hide him a little bit in defence as well. I think he's, Chris said that he might be man of steel, and
if we start winning and get that, telling you,
he's never going to let us forget that.
No. I was just going to say he's
up there.
He's up there, and I think he's probably been our most consistent performer over the 6 rounds. So.
Yeah, and you mentioned Ash there. I think people have criticised the move to centre. I think he's really growing into it. Yeah, it's making sense now watching him play. That pass was glorious. That proper centre's pass. I think he's settling into it.
He's looking good as always. 10-6 at half time. Worthy.
Yeah,
worthy I think thought we had a few more points in us.
Yeah, I think we made a couple of errors at the back end of set. I don't think we finished our sets great in the first.
We were 100% though, weren't we?
105.
Yeah. Sky said it was 100% completion at half time.
I don't know. I think it'll come from it. I think we could still go a bit more with Connor's kicking game.
I think we were a bit predictable with kicking game. We were a bit put it up high.
But I think we got in the grind well. We limited them. We went 6-0 down to a try that, fair play to lad, it were a good try. Miller slips helping him.
Yeah, but he has backed himself. Is it? And he'd have to forgive me.
Lindop,
thank you.
To be fair to
him, I'm going to call him Ludlow.
He'd made a right howler like 2 minutes before, so fair play.
Did the play of the ball?
No, he just dropped it cold. And a couple of plays later, he's doing that.
But he's back
So.
to, what I'm not talking about.
But actually, it leads on to something I wanted to mention with Riley Lum. He made a few errors, didn't he? And he's a young kid. But when he made them, I'm like, I'm not bothered because he went to catch the ball, didn't he? He put his body on line.
He's got the confidence.
One of them he got absolutely smacked, didn't he? And I'm like, so I don't mind a young kid making an error.
The thing is with Lum, it's not. So Roberts was a young lad, but I never really thought he had the ability to go on in a Leeds shirt. Whereas, like, you look at Riley and you think, actually, we get this kid space. He's a natural finisher.
Yeah.
How many tries has he scored?
Well, yeah, he's our top try scorer.
Yeah,
so you don't mind young kids making mistakes as long as they deal with them.
Particularly in situations when they're backing their ability.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
You sort of said with Jake Connor earlier about he will chuck that pass, and at Saints it'll go into Rowe's head, but then at Wire it lands in Ryan Lum's hands and it's a try. So if players are backing their ability, their skill, you can't.
Oh no, well, I said at the Saints game, when I was on the review, and I said there'll be a time this year where that pass comes off and we score, and that pass came off and we scored. So I think Jake's just one of them where it's one of them where you're chasing a game and he may be. That's when he may look like he's forcing it a bit too much, whereas we were in front, the confidence was flowing, and it looked. I mean, his ball movement his passing in the first half was top notch. To be fair,
it was a great finish from Ryan Hall for his try. It was Connor, Croft, Miller. Hawley.
Yeah, that were a lovely pass as well too.
In the corner,
and
a great finish from a classic.
Because I don't think he's left-handed, is he? So that's the unnatural way to
throwing himself in the air. That frame, that unit, bang, one-handed.
That's right, all in it.
As soon as you get him one-on-one, he's snoring and you're not putting him in touch.
I know Riley Lum's having a good season, but it's one at times when you think, it'd have been great to have Sevo, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's a real shame.
Again, I think we forget that.
Yeah, it's a real shame that we've not got to see him. But.
And I think it's a bit of credit to Riley as well that we forget that Sevo's not there. We're not looking, going, oh, we need to get a winger in. We signed a quota spot winger / centre, and Lum's keeping him out. Fair play, and again, fair play to Arthur for not just saying you're the quota spot. We've had people in the past where all the quota spots have been playing. Well, no, you've got to wait for Lum to give up the shirt, and it doesn't look like
he's not gonna.
Fingers crossed, touch wood, there's no injury, and he carries on playing as well as he is.
Changes for Salford, but anyway, we can discuss that.
We'll discuss that in our little transfer roundup towards the end of the podcast. Right, I'll jump into the stats pack. Possession. Rhinos had 48% possession. The Wolves had 52. I don't like calling them the Wolves. I'm not going to say that again. The Rhinos completion rate 84%.
Made a few errors.
We made some errors in second half, but theirs was
99%.
199%.
199%. Completed sets 28. Carries 184. Meters 1,181. Warrington 970. So we've dominated them massively in terms of meters. Tackles, Leeds had 336, Warrington had 305. Ballroom meters, 1,540 for the Rhinos. 1,271.
Lackey's 2 penalties when he ran 90 yards. How come they fell for it again?
Everyone always does.
I love that move, mate.
It's a good tactic. Good skill play. Post contact meters, 422 for the Rhinos. Tackle bursts, 31. And then we'll just jump to errors. Only 9 for the Rhinos, 15 missed tackles, and then a few player stats as well. Lackey Miller, 23 carries, 195.
Tell you, it sent 2 penalty runs. That's what you want from your fullback, though, isn't it?
Absolutely, and a performance where I could have put a little VAT on that and said 225, and people probably would have just nodded and said, I thought he'd have got 250. Aledzki, 10 carries for 94 metres. Harry Newman, 14 carries for 105 metres. Ryan Hall, 15 carries, 146 metres. And Riley Lum again breaks the 100 metres off.
Some people questioned signing Ryan Hall.
17.
And look what he's giving you every week.
Carries.
Idiots question signing Ryan Hall.
I've delayed it as much as I can. 20 minutes. Keenan Palacia. Palacia.
KP.
What we call him. KP. Good old Palacia. He puts a hit on Fitzgibbon. Fitzgibbon cries like a baby.
They were play on.
Pretty much stops the game, waving his hands with Danny Walker, Mark Sneed. Warrington, in effect, stopped the game. Literally went running to the ref, crying, and then the referee says, "Right, we'll take a look at this since you're all mourning." And so adamant that it's a penalty and something potentially worse. Brad Arthur disagreed with the yellow card after the game. He argued it was a crucial turning point that left the Rhinos vulnerable. And then obviously Warrington went on to score a match-winning try. Arthur touched on Sam Burgess chasing the ref down the tunnel at half-time, which in my opinion was absolutely deplorable. And I'd be saying the same thing. In fact, I'd be even angrier
if it were Brad Arthur.
If it were a Leeds coach. I'd be absolutely furious.
Shouldn't be allowed whatsoever. They shouldn't be able to speak to ref.
Yeah, Burgess gets a kick between his nuts for that because it's deplorable. The referee just kind of deviating slightly from that blew the final whistle as the clock ran down as Leeds didn't pack 6 players into the scrum.
Because they only had 5.
Said we had 10 seconds left. The likelihood of winning the game from there is remote, but that doesn't matter. There's still 10 seconds left. You can't just blow the time out. The referees need to know the rules. There's only 12 players, 5 in the scrum. We had 5 in the scrum. Those are the words of Brad Arthur. Duncan.
I knew you were going to come to me first. I'm really going to try not to swear.
Yes, because you haven't sworn since you realised children watch and listen to this fantastic podcast. I'll start. Was it a yellow card?
It wasn't even a penalty.
There we go.
Wasn't even a penalty.
We didn't even blow for a penalty, did we?
So there was 2 tackles. There was 2 tackles in the game that were worse than Palacia on Fitzgibbon. Yeah, it's on Gannon where he smacked him straight round head.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
that's a yellow. If Palacia's is a yellow card, that's a yellow card. I would argue that if you're going to give Palacia's as a yellow card, then the one on Riley Lum where he dropped the ball was the same amount of aggression. Probably a little bit of head contact. But what did Riley do? Oh, I've dropped the ball, I'll get up.
Yeah.
No one chelped at the ref. No one did anything. They got up, they cracked on. And the game just carried on.
Fitzgibbon were chelping all the way through the game.
He was.
Me and Phil mentioned that. We're like, he's just chelping at ref.
Weirdly, it's actually a positive for us, I think, this. Because I'm going to go back to 99. Because I love the pack. And
that's so unusual.
So
no matter what we're talking about, Duncan will mould it into the 1999.
So
Rhino
Murray
side.
got that letter, didn't he, from the RFL saying about the tackling were too hard. Duffed at full time in that god awful interview, but there was something interesting he said. He said we were really physical, we were a really tough team to play. We've not had that said about us in years. I think teams are now having to find another way to make metres. All the stats there are we're making more metres, we're restricting teams. Paul Vaughan was less than 100 metres, James Harrison was less than 100 metres. We did the same thing against Saints with Walmsley. These players that were rolling as years gone by when they were making 200 metres because we've got Justin Sangare on the field, now there's no easy player to run against in a Leeds shirt. They're having to find new ways to make the game a bit easier for themselves. They can't. There's no let up from us because we're fitter than what we ever have been. So our line speed doesn't slacken off. Our aggression in defence doesn't stop. We're getting numbers in the tackle. We're doing everything right. And then you've got an idiot in the middle who just, when a team starts chelping against him, who wasn't going to give the penalty in the first place, starts listening because everyone's gone, oh, is it me in the face? Is it me in the face?
And because Burgess has just given you an absolute volleys at half time.
That's what I was going to say. So Burgess at half time's played a blinder because he's put the pressure on the referee. He's blatantly told his Warrington players to put pressure on the referee in the second half. They've listened to what he said. Because that tackle, It was to a man, every single Warrington player on the near side of the field, whether they'd seen it or they'd not, they were straight in at the referee. And he just buckled under the pressure, give what the crowd wanted, a yellow card, and they've won the game from that. If that isn't a yellow card, and we have Paliasia on the field, we do not lose that game. 100%. You shouldn't come away from a very good game and you're thinking, oh, the referee has had a direct impact on the result. Shouldn't happen at any level of rugby. And I'll say I've managed to get through my rant without swearing, but
well done.
Tom Grant should be stepped down. He shouldn't referee in the next round of Super League. He shouldn't get a Challenge Cup game, and he shouldn't referee in the next round, because you shouldn't entertain a coach at half time. He should just walk straight off, get into his changing room. Shouldn't entertain Burgess. He's listened to Burgess and it's blatantly affected his second half performance. We got penalised 7 times in the second half. We're the least penalised team in the league, yet we've conceded 7 penalties second half.
After the game, innit? Yeah.
Like, it doesn't add up, and we weren't. There was enough 50-50 calls that went against us. Even at the back end of the first half, the Gannon charge down, where he wasn't looking at the ball.
That was ridiculous. I was livid with that.
I mean, it's.
He turned
you
his
don't
back,
want to
didn't
come
he?
on here and go, it's the referee. But
I hate blaming the referee because they've got a hard job, haven't they?
You can't. They have.
But there were so many mistakes. I mean, to be fair, our first try was forward.
Well, it was. It was bad for both sides, but I think second half, if Paliasia doesn't get sin-binned,
we've won the game.
We win the game.
And just to talk about video ref, I'm not even convinced that he got that captain's challenge right.
Well, it was Ben Thaler, wasn't it? So he's never going to give anything.
He had his hand on ball, and then when he would, there was enough for me to say that he's
Ben Thaler will have been looking at the wall, not looking at not looking at what was going on.
So it did feel like that we didn't get rubber green at all.
He said something like his hands on the ball, but he's not made a ripping motion, and the I can't even remember who it was pulling it out, and I'm thinking, right, okay. So he's not made a ripping motion, but he's pulled ball out, and then I even think at the ground, I thought Ben Curry on Jake Connor when Connor dropped the ball from the dropout.
Oh, he tackled him in the air, didn't he?
He just went. Well, he didn't even tackle him, did he? He just backed into him, knocked him enough.
The short dropout.
Yeah, knocked him enough so the ball goes.
And they gave us a knock on,
and then he gave it a knock on.
They showed Brad Arthur, didn't they? And he's like, but you can't do that, can you?
No.
You've either got to make an attempt.
Carl
for the ball.
Ablett used to do it all the time, and he'd get penalised for it.
God, I miss Carl.
I'd forgotten about that one.
Hope you're okay, Carl.
But yeah, that's my rant on it. Sorry,
Chris.
No, it's.
What did I ask you? What's it yellow card?
It definitely wasn't a yellow card. No. Was it a penalty? 50-50 maybe. I think he hit the ball, and he might have touched. Why didn't he go off for an HIA?
I've got it written here.
If his shoulder hit his head. Why is he still on field?
Why hasn't Fitzgibbon gone for an HIA?
Because that requires a referee that controls the game and knows what he's doing.
It was not a yellow card. He's not even been picked up by MRP, has he?
No, he's not even got a point.
So it's like,
which makes the point.
But yet we've lost the player for 10 minutes and we've lost the 2 points
the video
because of it.
That, so he's been. How many views did they have of it? It was like they were looking.
They were looking to give it. Yeah.
I'm not saying refs are biased because I don't think they are. I think that's. I don't think that's right.
It was an embarrassing decision.
It was just incompetence, I think.
But I like the fact that Arthur said he's not going to make an official complaint. Man, there was no point, is there?
No.
But
no,
he said at the end of the game he's not going to make an official complaint, and they need to tidy up on a few things themselves. But after that, I think everyone in the ground, from a Leeds point of view, had lost their head. So you can't go at the players for. I mean, they must just think the amount of effort that they were putting in to win that game for that decision, and you could see it just gave Warrington a massive lift.
Of course, it did.
It's not good for the game, neither. It ruins what was a really good game, despite some. If they'd
have won the game at the back end and it had been 13-13, fair play. But I'll tell you now, they weren't going to win that game.
Ah, no way.
Well, Palacia is one of his best defenders.
Yeah.
Whacked him out last 5 minutes.
Yeah, but I think he should get stood down for the 10 seconds thing at the end. It doesn't matter that it was only 10 seconds. You've got.
Oh, yeah, but he didn't have it. He's ruling on that just shows that he didn't understand what he was doing.
The referee needs support.
And he'd only just sent Palacier off.
He doesn't need supporting.
It's as Brad Arthur said, you can't just blow the time out.
No.
The referee needs to know the rules. There's only 12 players. It's 5 in the scrum. We had 5 in the scrum. So the RFL referee should be saying to him...
Isn't a referee's job to know the rules?
Well, it doesn't. So obviously they need to go back to him to say, you need to go to this referee's lesson, mate.
He needs to... It's his job to understand the rules to referee a game.
Because that is, to me, that's a bit different from making a wrong call or something. Do you get what I mean? So, short, forward pass. The refs they're going to make mistakes out there.
They can, but you shouldn't make a mistake when they're looking at it on a video from a video referee point of view.
But they can be those decisions you touch on there can be based off an opinion, can't they?
Yeah.
Whereas packing down with 12 players, that's a law.
Yeah.
It's a law, innit? You know, that can't change. That's like walking onto the field. You need 13 men, 13 women, 13 players. We only had 12, so it's 5 in the scrum.
It's 11 in it.
90 minutes.
Yeah. Anyway, on to Brad Arthur, because I thought he spoke really well after the game, and he said to the press it was a really good first half. Rhinos had plenty of fight, plenty of spirit, and a great try-line scramble. We had to defend our try line for long periods, especially at the start of the second half. But in the end, there were too many errors and penalties in the second half. We made it tough on ourselves at times, but I was happy with the way we had plenty of fight and grit. With 20 minutes to go, if we did a couple of different things in one or two of those sets, it could have been a different result for us. Would you agree with that, Chris? And that summary from BA?
It was just the one that got me really annoyed was Holroyd shooting out at line on fifth tackle
at the end.
There was just no need for it, were there?
He wasn't offside, you know.
Oh.
No. But if you pause your TV, he's got his foot on line. I agree.
You're giving a referee a choice there, aren't you?
You're giving an incompetent referee a choice.
Yeah. But I think 9 times out of 10 a ref will call that offside because I think he's not got there quick enough. So I was just annoyed because it's like, why have you done that on fifth tackle? We had it covered.
We did have some silly errors. I thought with the ball, I think we went a bit defensive when we were 14-6 up. I think one try there kills the game completely because they have to play.
Yeah.
They have to,
and we were knocking on the line, weren't we? I actually thought we were going to score.
No, yeah.
And like I said, if Croft had been on, I think we would have done. But and like when Hall made that break, Holroyd was backed him. Well, he wasn't backing him up. He would just
he'd made the effort. I said this, and then when I watched it back, he'd actually gone to charge the kick down on Sneed, put the pressure on for the poor kick to Miller. And you can see him on his hands on his knees blowing a little bit, and then Ryan Hall comes bursting onto the ball, and he's like, "Oh, better start running again."
Knackered. Right, we'll just move on to our Matt Frawley Fast Signs Player of the Match. But before we do that, we'd like you to choose your vote. So comment below on this YouTube video in the comments section, and let's see if you agree with our selection for the Matt Frawley Fast Signs Player of the Match. Duncan, who was your player of the match?
I'm actually going to say something as well that I forgot to mention. So I did say on this pod against St Helens, I mentioned about McDonald. I'm going to eat humble pie a little bit because he's been very good the last couple of weeks. I thought he had
it your words, James, watching this and saying, "Oh my God"?
No, genuinely, I said that I didn't think I'd have him as a squad player, not a starter. And he's been good the past 2 weeks. When he scored that try, everyone that I stand with turned round to a man and started pointing and laughing at me because McDonald had scored.
I'm really glad you've said this.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I thought you were talking Mick, to be fair. There's 4. There's McDonald, there's Connor, Miller, Oledsky. They're my 4.
Is this the ultimate redemption arc?
No,
not quite.
Not quite.
Sorry, James.
I'm gonna go Lockie Miller.
Really?
I thought he was very, very, very good.
Excellent.
I thought he was very good.
I mean,
and the reason I'm going Miller, we kind of expect his meters. because it's just a given. But actually, his ball playing from full-back was very good, which sometimes it isn't. But I felt he was. I felt he had a very, very good
one
game.
thing that he said he was going to work on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like cutting those daft passes out or the errors. And
I thought he was really good.
I don't think he made an error really, apart from slipping over.
Well, yeah, he slipped, didn't he? But not to be helped.
Right.
So
Lachie Miller from Dunk, producer Chris.
Well, the reason I said
is this an easy one for you then?
no.
All right.
The reason I said I'm glad Dunk said that is because mine's James McDonnell.
Oh, yours is James McDonnell.
I thought it was immense. I thought it was absolutely brilliant on Friday night.
Here he was.
He were everywhere.
Scored a try.
Strong, scored a try. I thought it was really, really good. So yeah.
Well, mine's Jake Connor.
Hadn't you given it to Jake Connor every week?
I'm trying to get him off the pod.
You love Jake Connor, don't you? So is it,
I did say last week.
He's Matt Duffy's man at match as well.
Oh God, sorry. Good ideas, George. But I think I'm going to agree with, because we have to have a fast signs.
It's your decision, really.
it's Jake Connor, innit? If you've made the...
No, I've got to agree with one of you two. I'll go with James McDonnell. James McDonnell. You are the Matt Frawley fast signs.
My mate Alex will love that.
You are the fast signs. Matt Frawley fast signs player of the match. Congratulations to James McDonnell. We're now going to touch on some transfer news around the club, because there was some rather significant news from over in Australia earlier this week. It was reported in the Daily Telegraph over in Sydney, I think, that Morgan Gannon has reportedly been offered a 3-year deal by the New Zealand Warriors. Just before I get the guys' comments and verdict on this, Brad Arthur said he was pretty confident about Morgan staying at the Rhinos. Brad Arthur said earlier this week, Ian Blease is in the process of working with Morgan's management on extending his deal. What I do know is that Morgan loves the club and appreciates what the club has done for him. All the indications are that he wants to continue to play here at Leeds. It's Morgan's choice and his business, but I'm pretty comfortable that I know where he's at. I would expect him to be playing at Leeds for next year, but until it's sorted, the decision is yet to be made. So, I feel this day was always going to come, as in the rumours of Morgan going to the NRL. Morgan's career path has always been highlighted with the potential to play in the NRL, so this isn't weird. It's the first stage now, as we discuss this rumour or potential of him leaving Leeds, the first we've ever spoken this, and heading over to the NRL. I guess my question is, I'll start with Chris. It is now the time for Morgan, 21-year-old, out of contract?
No, it's a year or two early for him.
Think so?
Just with what he's gone through, I think going into that high-intensity competition, I've no doubt he's capable, but I think personally he'll sign a 2-year deal, or maybe a 3-year deal with a get-out clause, because he'll go to NRL. Is that good?
Well, yeah, it's going to happen.
There's that, and I think he's quite a sensible guy, isn't he? I think he'll think, let me have another couple of years, because he's had such a stop-start to his career and he's only young. I also don't think Warriors is the right club. I think if you're going to go play NRL, get yourself into Sydney, or get in the middle of it rather than...
Don't know anywhere.
But that's just my personal opinion. Yeah. I said that when Sam Tompkins signed. I'm like, is that the right club? There's a lot of travelling. I think from what Brad Arthur says, I think he'll sign, but he will go to NRL because he's that good. So I think we need to brace yourselves for losing him at some point.
Duncan, is it the right time? Is the time now?
No, it's like Chris said, it's too early. I think, putting a different slant on it, I'd like to think that he owes the club a little bit.
Yeah, there is that.
Not in a nasty way, but plenty of teams could have just said, you've had plenty of head knocks
off your pot.
Yeah, and I'm pleased. Don't get me wrong, I'm pleased with how Leeds handled it, and I think for Morgan, I think he's come back in this year and he's shown what we all hoped he'd be, which is a very, very good back row forward. But I think, like Chris said, I think it's New Zealand Warriors, I think he's better than that. Genuinely, I think if he moves it this year in his career, this time of his career, he probably doesn't get the best club that he could get if he moves 3-4 years down the line when he's sort of mid-20s, and he could
26.
be like...
He could follow what Adrian Morley did.
Yeah.
I've no doubt. I think he's that good.
Yeah.
So
I think it's shown by the fact, as much as we joke, it's shown by the fact that that two coaches now have said to him that they don't mind playing him at 6.
Yeah.
The fact that he's like of that...
He's that talented.
He's that
It's no coincidence now that there's two coaches, one being a superstar NRL coach.
Yeah, I think with having Arthur, I think he'll learn under Brad. I mean, hopefully he stays a bit longer than after this year. So I personally think he'll sign. I think, listening to Arthur's comments, I think he's not going to... I think the club seem to think it's... and it's nice that he is linked, because at the end of the day, your players don't get linked unless they're playing well.
No. I think it reminds me a bit of Harry Newman before he signed his latest contract. Mm-hmm. And what he said was, I owe the club and I want to be successful at this club to repay the favour.
Yeah.
And Harry's still youngish, isn't he? So he's, if he... Because I think he's playing outstanding, and I can't believe I still see people criticising him.
Yeah.
He'll be England centre.
He's literally the reason we don't do the player ratings anymore.
So I think he's starting to repay that, isn't he? And I think something similar might happen with Morgan.
Yeah.
Well, like Duncan, that you both touched on, Morgan will know how the club treated Harry through his injuries. They said, look, the contract's still there, mate. We know how good you are. Fairly adamant Max Simpson signed a deal whilst he's been injured.
Yeah.
They've sort of said another
They
deal
put
for
the trust
you.
in him, haven't they?
So they're trusting these younger players to come through. I'm absolutely adamant that Morgan Gannon is not going to the NRL anytime soon. I think he'll sign a deal with us pretty quickly. We're getting tied down, and I think it'll be like at least a 3-year deal.
Do you know what I think one of his biggest problems might be if or when Brad Arthur goes? Do you think he'll take some players?
It's a whole other podcast.
Everyone said the same about Christian Wolf, didn't they? And he's only just started dipping back in.
True.
So I think a lot depends on how we end it with Brad, or if and when that happens. I mean, he's not going to get sacked, so I would imagine we're going to end on amicable terms. So I would be
just head on
disappointed if he came in and just started rinsing the squad and taking everyone. But look, we've got, and like I said, it's a compliment to Leeds and to Morgan that he's linked with the team in the NRL.
And I'm a bit. I think at the start we're a bit disappointed that we're not starting him, but I think they're doing the right thing.
Well, he said in one of his press conferences, didn't he, Arthur, that he's managing his minutes a bit, and
they are doing.
So I think there's still, and it's fair enough from a player welfare point of view that's how Leeds.
Yeah.
We'd all be, as fans, we'd all be chucking him in for 80 minutes, and because we think we obviously think he's that good and we like watching him. But yeah, I think he'll sign.
10-year deal, Morgan Gannon announced next week.
15-year deal.
Callum Watkins is available. He hates Salford. He hates playing for Salford. Salford don't pay him. Leeds will pay him. Leeds would pay him. Should we just...
It's an absolute no-brainer.
Is it even worth discussing? Should we just go get him?
I think it's worth discussing.
Just go get him, bring him home.
From a point of view of...
He loves us, we love him.
Again, like, when it was announced that we're linked with him, there's people saying he's too old. He's this, and you you think to yourself, every time
Salford's best player for the last 4 years.
Every time we've played against Salford, he's scored.
He has a blinder,
and he plays really well.
Well, he's a bit like Ryan Hall, isn't he? He looks after himself.
He'll add leadership. He's got great hands for a second rower. He's played with Croft and knows Croft game. Croft knows his game. He'll help
Hawley.
He'll help the likes of Harry Newman.
Mick.
You know, why would
Harry?
It's a no-brainer, and I think we'll get salary cap
Of course we will,
'Cause
yeah.
he's-
We'll get dispensation because he's come through our academy.
He'll sign.
He'll sign.
And I
Yeah.
think it'll
Well,
be
we've
this
said
week.
this before on the podcast, but he will.
I think it'll be this week because
He
he
will
knows
sign.
he'll want to get paid, won't he?
He'll just want to get paid.
And if we don't sign him, one at top clubs will.
Oh yeah, well he will link to
100%.
he will
They've
link
got
to
a Wigan or something, aren't
He
they?
will link to St Helens.
Yeah.
When I'm not saying Saints are a top club, but he was linked with St Helens.
If we don't sign him, somebody else will.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a no-brainer.
Like people are saying, "Oh, where does that leave?" Like Ash, does Ash go out to the wing? No, Ash is not going to play on the wing this year. He's going to be the centre, hence the number 4.
Hence
in
the
the
What
back.
it just
on his
gives
back.
us another option at 13 at second row
Yeah,
and centre.
And centre.
If anything happens.
if any, yeah.
Leeds, go and sign him. Make it
Just
happen.
do it. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
an
And then-
absolute no-brainer.
Yeah.
And then he'll be
Don't
home.
pay Salford too much money for him.
I
No.
won't give him anything.
Give him nothing. Just say, Callum, we will pay you.
Yeah.
We'll pay you your salary. Time to look ahead to the Rhinos' next game, which is Salford away. Oh my God. That'd be what a tale. What a tale. Watkins'
It'll
second
happen.
debut is at Salford for
Yeah.
the Rhinos. It's definitely going to happen. That's Rugby League 101.
Actually, one extra thing about Callum. I don't like how it ended for him at Leeds as well.
Wasn't it around?
I don't think he did neither, did he? But I think
And I think it'd be nice to have him, to give him a proper
Heroes
send-off.
welcome back and a big send off.
Ryan Hall will be in his ear. Come on.
Of course,
Yeah.
it will come back. It's great.
Sorry, go on.
Brand new stadium. Brodie Croft. Let's pretend he is injured. God forbid. that he
I won't
misses
play
this
him
one.
anyway. No chance.
Sinfield,
Play Jack.
Sinfield and Connor. Then is it that easy?
Yeah, I think maybe.
I don't think they go back to Frawley.
I think he'll go. I think he might put Frawley on bench.
Yeah, he might,
In the
he might do
Sinfield
that,
role.
but I would be disappointed if Frawley came in and jumped ahead of Jack and they left Jack
Yeah.
on the bench, because I think
I'd go a step further. I think if they did that, Jack would be nose would be way out of joint.
I don't think he's that type of guy though, is he?
I just
No.
feel like if not now, and I've said this loads, if not now,
Croft
then when?
won't play. He's not going to risk him against.
Depends, doesn't it? I mean, they've got
Salford.
a week off this week, judging by Palliser is in
Well, I won't
Brisbane,
play him
isn't he?
even if he's 100% fit. It was.
Palliser is in Brisbane.
Yeah, on his Instagram, yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
How's he got? What?
Palliser is not in Brisbane.
He's gone back to Brisbane. Not to sign or anything like that, don't worry, but yeah, he's gone back
That's
home.
why he's not replied.
You are? Yeah, that's why he's not.
He's gone back at what? Has he got? I suppose.
He's gone back home for.
How do you know that?
He's gone because he's put
Anyway,
it
we're
all.
recording
It's,
the podcast.
it's all
I'm checking-
over his Instagram. Not
I'm
that
checking
like-
KP's.
Yeah. No. So they've
got
all
some time
getting,
off.
they've got some time off. They're all getting a bit of rest. For me, I'd play the best 17 players available, and I would absolutely smash them.
I don't think we need to play his best
80, 90.
Why not?
Beat him by 90.
Wigan should have beaten them by 100 yesterday.
They were crap at start, weren't they?
Yeah,
Wigan?
but nah, you don't go light on them. You put your best side out and you work on your combinations
Well,
for the next game
Brodie
against
will want to
Huddersfield.
play, won't he, if
You
he's
smash
fit,
them.
there's
Oh,
that.
yeah, I want to play it. So
So you smash the next two and then you move on to Hull KR at home full of beans.
Yeah.
Easy as that.
it's as easy as that. Predictions.
Where does Callum Watkins play then? Well, if Palliser is still in Brisbane, he can play at 13.
No, it's going to be back foot game.
Predictions.
For Salford game,
Yeah.
if it's. They'll be losing some more players, won't they?
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, Watkins will be
Well,
playing.
Nene won't there, worry. So he's
Blowing
probably
out.
like sulking
gone.
somewhere.
I'm sure he's
He's
gone.
just gone away
Oh, has
somewhere.
Tim Laffey's not there.
No, Laffey's gone home,
Atkins
hasn't he?
is
Atkin and
signed for
Watkins.
Castleford, I believe. I've
Atkin
heard.
has.
Big signing. That.
I saw somebody say we should sign him.
Should sign who?
Atkin.
I don't know who he is.
As what? I saw the same thing. I saw the same
Waterboy.
thing on Twitter, but yeah, no.
Prediction.
Well, if we're not getting 50 plus,
Sack Brad Arthur.
Yeah.
How can you say that on this podcast?
I want him all sacking. I don't.
I was going to say
That
Leeds by 300.
Against that shit show, it could be old, couldn't it?
Could be it.
300.
I think we'll win by more than 70.
By more than 300.
I think we'll play better than Wigan did. to start with, and I
So
thought,
we're going to get 70, 60?
let's go for it. Yeah, sorry, Salford. I don't actually like.
Well, we're not sorry.
I'm not sorry. I
We are not
don't
sorry.
feel sorry for them one
They
bit.
hate us.
I hope they go
As
bust.
in, they hate this podcast.
Good.
Did they?
Oh, yeah, they hate us.
156 0.
I say Leeds by 300. Duncan says Leeds by
70.
70. Just to
That's
bring
if they're
things
still-
down.
just to bring things back down.
That's
for a
if they
little
still
bit.
exist.
To an even.
Remember
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
playing against 11 men.
Yeah, you'd love that. You'd find
For
the
90 minutes.
There'd finally be some
90
accuracy
minutes.
on this podcast. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening. Please do subscribe to us on YouTube. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, and I will stop asking you to subscribe. Please leave us a 5-star review on Spotify. We've now got over 100 5-star reviews on Spotify alone, so thank you very much. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok. Just search for the Lot Pod. That's us. We'll see you all next time for the Salford Match Review panel. Take care.